So, with the introduction of the Nether, we have been given something a little different: health as a resource. Now, this has been a thing in basically every other MMO on the market. Health is a non renewable thing that you have to use items to restore. It's a constant through all these games, and the Nether has kind of brought that into Destiny, which is it's fairly unique. It's a solid take on it, and it's all around a pretty fun addition. It changes the way you think about the game. It changes the way you think about your builds and your movement. It makes you think more tactically at times. It makes you have to focus more on the game. It's a change and an innovation that Destiny players have kind of been asking for a while. The issue is, though, is that despite how much Destiny players will ask for change and variety, they are deathly afraid of change and variety. There's people going around saying that the health changes are too harsh, they make builds unusable, they make the Nether too hard, and they all around just suck. The truth is, though, that this isn't true. These changes don't suck. You just suck at the game. Now, look, there's a constant agreement in the Destiny community that the game has gotten stagnant. It's starting to feel stale, things are starting to feel same-ish, and that's very true. Activities are starting to all feel the same. There's really only a few unique things in things like dungeons and raids, but that's really about it. So over time, everyone's kind of funneled into the same like 10 or 11 or so builds, and it's really started to bring a lot of boredom to the game that people are really getting tired of. Naturally, that's what's going to happen. And with Heresy and the Nether, it feels almost like Bungie's way of trying to listen to the player base. The Nether is something same, but something new. It's an attempt at a more roguelike as opposed to some of their other attempts. And with that comes this huge increase to your health of it's like 200%, 3 times the amount of health you normally have. And its drawback is that you don't naturally heal. This is a really unique idea for Destiny, at least. It's something we haven't had before. All of our healing options are essentially neutered down to not very viable. And it makes you have to think differently. It makes you have to use new builds. But despite all of the cry and want and need for something new and something fresh, Destiny players seemingly hate it. It's kind of ridiculous to a degree, to be fully honest, that you come out and you complain to Bungie that everything feels the same, and Bungie's response is something new, and you go, no, not like that. Because you can't use the same build you've been using for years upon years in it. And to that, I just have to say, sucks to suck, really. You have to learn to adapt. You can't ask for the game to change and then not change yourself. Your build isn't always going to work. You have to use something new. It's a part of growing. It's a part of keeping the game going. If people want Destiny to keep going, they have to change alongside the game. The game's going to change. It's going to feel fresh, but it's not going to feel fresh if you don't change. There are 87 exotics per character, and yes, some of those are PvP exotics. Some of them aren't exactly the greatest, but even still, without those, it's still like 60 or so different exotics you can use that are viable. But everybody's latched on to like 2 or 3 per character that are the only ones that are ever used. Nobody tries anything new, and that has to change, or else Destiny is never going to change. And it's going to be the exact same thing year in, year out, without any difference. So yeah, you suck at the game, but you don't have to. Stop complaining that a challenging activity is challenging. Learn how to play a new way. Learn how to play a different style. Use different builds. Use different exotics. If you want to use the build you've been using since day one of Final Shape, or since even before that, then go run a dungeon. Go run a raid. Go run strikes. Go run onslaught. There's so many places your build still works. Your build still kills and slays out. Use something different in different content. Use something new in new content. Learn to do something different. Everything doesn't have to be the same every time you play it, because that's how stagnation sets in. That's how boredom sets in. That's how players stop playing the game, and that's how the game dies. You suck at Destiny, but you don't have to.